speaking of that connection, you guys had Jermaine Jones
Hmm.
play for Ontario, and then Landon Donovan playing for the Sockers. Uh, so you being involved in that heavily, what was the experience like to have Landon Donovan and Jermaine Jones participating in
You
the
know,
league?
it was awesome. I mean, Donovan was the first in a sense, and he really put us on the map. I mean, the press conference was attended by so many media attention that we haven't gotten in a lot of years. Um, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, Fox Soccer, Fox Sports, Rob Stone, Lawless, all those guys were talking about it. Taylor Twellman and generally those are the voices of American soccer, right? I mean, they've got all their podcasts, they've got all their stories, all their different things that they're doing. And just to get a mention that Landon Donovan at the time, the all-time leading goal scorer for MLS until, Wando took that over, Wondolowski, another indoor soccer alumni, by the way, played
Yep.
in Stockton Cougars for a little bit. He's your all-time leading goal scorer in MLS. But for Donovan to come over and make the transition into the MASL. Obviously, he was promoting himself in San Diego market for some things that he had going on, which was the San Diego Loyal that he has right now in the USL. But he put us on the map and a lot of attention, I should say. Not put us on the map, but a lot of media attention that we wouldn't have gotten if he wasn't here. Same for Jermaine Jones. I mean, we had to hire extra media people in order to handle the media request and just the attention that the Ontario Fury was getting at the time. It was a pretty intense and pretty awesome experience that I'll never forget. It's one of the highlights, bringing a big time international player that played in the Bundesliga and did so many great things, played for our national team, scored an unbelievable goal in the World Cup for our national team. And then to have him wearing our colors and playing indoor soccer, the thing that I'm so passionate about, was pretty awesome. And then seeing those two play against each other in front of a nearly sold out crowd and the atmosphere, and it was just, man, it was like someone pinched me. So hopefully we can replicate that. And there's other, not just MLS players, but there's other guys out there that, have made the transition from indoor to outdoor and vice versa. That I think, that connection can be really strong. Omid Namazi, the assistant coach for Houston Dynamo. He played for years and years and years in our league. He was a coach. He was an all-star player. You've got Preki that obviously started indoors and went outdoors and continued on and played for our national team and is still involved in the game as an assistant coach. Brian Schmetzer, how many titles the Seattle Sounders won and different stuff. Head coach for the Sounders, whether people realize it or not, played for many, many years for indoor soccer. So we've got a lot of ties to the game and a lot of connections already. I think it's just the start of a lot more to come. And it was exciting to see Donovan and Jermaine. And remember, Lamar Neagle from Seattle made the transition to Tacoma Stars. And we had Kevin Ellis that played for the Sporting KC that also played for Kansas City Comets. So I think more's coming in the next few years, which is pretty exciting.
And the one thing I would say about Landon Donovan, I watched some highlight clips of him playing. He looked like he was a kid. Like when goals were scored, he was celebrating. Like, I mean, to see him behave that way, like it was so cool for him, really
Yep.
helped. And he was
No, and
sincere.
he took this serious. I mean, he signed and he took 2 weeks to get indoor fit, mentally ready. Learn the rules, learn the intricacies of the game. I mean, he took this serious. It wasn't just a sideshow. And exactly that. He said that. He said that, he actually was having fun for the first time he could remember in a long time. And this is coming from a guy that, has traveled the world, played a lot of different high level and probably stressful situations as well. Especially over the last few years of his career, going down to Mexico and back and kind of that uncertainty. But he said he was having the time of his life and fun. And that goes back to it again. He remembered, as a kid playing down here. Ironically, he played here in our area in Ontario at our training facility. That's where he grew up kicking the ball around, and he remembers those times. So he had a lot of fun. Jermaine had a lot of fun. He said the same thing. This is, I can't believe I didn't play this 10 years ago. I love this stuff. This is a lot of fun. So, both those guys were great. They were great ambassadors, and hopefully continue on being ambassadors for not just our U.S. Soccer in general, but indoor soccer. Both of them have played for me with the national team now. Jermaine actually went to the mini football World Cup with us in Australia last summer. So, yeah, if we get more guys like that to buy in and tell the story of indoor soccer, much more powerful and much more impactful than Bernie and David on a podcast. You know what I mean? Those guys really bring attention to the game, but we're part of it and you're part of it as well, the history of it.